What's up everyone, it's Tyranitar and welcome back to another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire analysis video. Recently, the Japanese Pokemon channel had posted video snippets of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire footage, as well as the same gameplay in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So what better way to look at it than to break it down and analyze it? The gameplay starts off with the player entering into May's house in Little Root Town, and right here you get a look at the homely village you start at. Just like in X and Y, your first interaction with your rival is in first person's view in 3D, which I really like. It actually makes you feel like the player. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have a lot more NPC overworld animations, which can be seen right here from the various reactions from May. And like always, the home console is replaced with the more modern one. You and your product placement, Nintendo. We then get the full gameplay of you spotting Professor Birch for the first time being chased by a Poochyena, and look, he's running diagonally too. This is where you get to choose your starter Pokemon, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look like you get your Mega Stone right off the bat like with the Kanto starters in Pokemon X and Y. We then get the full scene where your rival May battles you, and obviously being one of the two playable characters, she has a 3D model. I just wish they would have given other important characters like the Elite Four and Champion 3D models as well. And speaking of important characters, we get version exclusive gameplay of Team Magma and Omega Ruby, as well as Team Aqua and Alpha Sapphire. Here in the Oceanic Museum, you battle two Team Grunts, and then the leader shows up warning you not to interfere with their work. And if you look around in the museum, you'll notice that there are references to other regions, like the model of the SS-san from Kanto, as well as the Royal Unova from the Unova region. We then get extended gameplay of the player riding on the Mach Bike alongside the seaside cycling road, and I know I've said this before, but just look at it as a whole. The water and path underneath, the new road graphics, especially the transparent part here, it looks amazing. Cycling road also still has the time challenge, which I actually found really fun in the original games, probably because of how tough it was to get a perfect score on. And like in X and Y, you can move diagonally, which is really gonna help with controlling the Mach Bike. It was pretty difficult to control, especially with it accelerating. Just think about how hard it was to get through Sky Pillar, but now it's gonna be much easier to control the Mach Bike, which may also bring harder puzzles with it, like more floors in Sky Pillar and more Mach Bike exclusive areas. Following that, we get footage of Moss Deep City, which a lot of you that have the ORAS demo are probably familiar with, as well as footage of Route 114 on top of Meteor Falls. The entire area appears to retain the same base layout, but is scaled to be much larger, which gives room for a lot more like these craters. Meteors actually fell, and here it is, Meteor Falls. The Hoenn Desert located in Route 111 is actually confirmed to be a completely new area on ORAS, and is much larger in comparison to the original games. And considering that this area is also scaled to be bigger, it's possible that this location may be its own area as well and may contain new things in it. Following that is footage of the Agrobike in action in Route 119, which helps show off that new NPCs and items will be added to some locations. And then they finally showcase more on diving in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Right here you can see the underwater entrance to Sootopolis City, which actually looks like a proper entrance, unlike the small hole we got in the original games. Right off the bat, it's noticeable that you move much faster underwater now, and the underwater world is much larger, making it something that's gonna be a lot of fun to explore. And I can see Game Freak adding additional features like underwater caves that only appear at certain times. Like I speculated back in May, there is going to be underwater trainers that will challenge you, known as scuba divers and free divers. And if you look at the underwater world, it's no longer crowded with seaweed, forcing you to encounter Pokemon while you explore. It's just mostly around the edges to allow you to explore freely for the most part. We also get more footage from the Oceanic Museum in Slateport City, as well as gameplay of Route 120, where Steven gives you the Devon Scope and helps you get rid of the Kecleon blocking the way. I sort of feel like Game Freak is going to add more invisible Kecleon around the region in ORAS to give the Devon Scope more use. Following that, we get a set of gameplay snippets from various different areas. First, we have Route 111 by the desert, where you double battle these two reporters, which with the updated graphics fits in a lot more. And then we have the full gym leader cutscene for Roxanne. At first, it was thought that the gym badge in the battle screens had this wireframed look to be seen as the initial badge, and that the real badge would be obtainable in a rematch. But from what was leaked in the demo, it doesn't appear that the gym leaders have a rematch team, but that can change in the full release of the game. We then get gameplay of the player interacting with the first Elite Four member, Sydney, who's just bored with life and sits on his chair waiting for a challenger. How are you gonna torture him like that, Game Freak? And look, he's got his thumbs in his pants. I guess that's swag in the Hoenn region. But speaking of the Elite Four, there's actually some interesting things revealed about them in the ORAS demo leaks, but since I know a lot of you want to stay away from the demo leaks, I'll save that for another video. If you guys haven't done so yet, be sure to check out the Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Delta Emerald tees. The campaigns are set to end tomorrow, so be sure to click the shirt on screen or click the link in the description to go pick one up before it ends. But anyways guys, that's it for this gameplay analysis video. Be sure to drop a like if you're hyped about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They're just